Chairman Levin, Ranking Member Camp, members of the committee. Thank you for this opportunity to testify before you today, and thank you for the bipartisan nature of the comments that have been coming forth thus far. It's good to see this is an issue on which both parties can agree. We've submitted my testimony for the record, so rather than repeat what I know you've read, I'll simply focus on the salient points that were raised with the first panel. Namely, why is it important to continue to engage with China? 2, what are the challenges of competing in that marketplace given their industrial policies? And 3rd, and perhaps most important, what are some of the solutions that we can offer? I think it's fair to say that for Mr. Holloman's members and mine, China is one of the most confounding as well as one of the most compelling countries in the world. It is rich with opportunities, but also rich with real challenges and dangers. As the members of this committee well know, China is the largest holder of foreign exchange reserves. It's well on its way to surpassing Japan to become the 2nd largest economy in the world, and is currently the United States' 3rd largest trade export partner. That trade export has actually quadrupled in the last decade. However, the promise of continued growth and building on that bilateral partnership is being undermined by industrial policy within China. A case example is China's indigenous innovation policies. Under that seemingly innocuous title are policies that are aimed at foreclosing a significant segment of the Chinese economy from foreign companies, namely U.S. companies, unless those companies are willing to transfer their intellectual property rights to Chinese companies. China's efforts under the title of indigenous innovation are completely out of step with global norms and are frankly unprecedented. So much so that in response to intense international pressure, including pressure from many members of this committee, for which we thank you, China has provisionally agreed to suspend some aspects of its indigenous innovation efforts. However, it's critical that we remain vigilant. As Congressman Rangel pointed out earlier, we've seen this movie before, and we know this is the beginning, not the end. Whether it's in the area of government procurement or standards in advancing its own country-specific standards like WAPI or TCM, or in product accreditation where it has this new multi-level protection scheme, China's indigenous innovation and industrial policies are all aimed at tipping the scale unfairly in favor of its domestic industry and divesting U.S. companies and other multinationals that are not based in China from their intellectual property rights. It's critical for us, if we're going to be successful in breaking down these trade barriers, that we remain vigilant. What does that mean? What can we do? We offer 2 solutions. One is enhancing and escalating our efforts to drive and develop a real strategy aimed at holding China accountable. When we have been successful in dealing with China on its industrial policy, it's been the result of a strategic approach that's involved bringing in the private sector as well as multinational and global involvement. We strongly encourage a similar policy and strategy development in this area that will focus on what role the TPP, for example, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, can play in holding China accountable, and developing clear metrics like ensuring that China truly accedes to the government procurement agreement, which it has not done in spite of its promise to do so. Second, it's important that we hold ourselves accountable here in the United States and take the steps that are necessary to ensure that the United States retains its leadership position in driving innovation on a global basis by investing in ensuring that our students are proficient in science, technology, engineering, and math, ensuring that we continue to invest in research and development and in new industry sectors like clean wind and energy. I find it more than ironic that though Congress has yet to reauthorize the Competes Act or reauthorize the Research and Development tax credit, it is moving forward with changes in the International Tax Code that will make it harder rather than easier for U.S.-based multinationals to compete with China. Our companies include the global leaders in driving innovation, real pioneers in finding new trade opportunities, and partners with literally hundreds of thousands of small businesses across this country. We look forward to working with this committee to ensure our continued competitiveness in this globally integrated environment. Thank you.